Alright, back on the motor here. So, we have decided we're going to put new rocker arms on this. So this is a new set of Ultima rocker arms. We use these. I used to put their name on them. So these are the crane rocker arms over here. So you can see the difference in them. So the biggest difference is these have bushings in there, which don't have a lot of issues. These have needle bearings that have a lot of issues. Mainly being that we eat up shelves. It tears up the shelves. So this one's not too bad. And these other ones here are pitted. This one here is all flaking out right here. They wear, rock arms only wear in one spot, so when they wear pretty heavily. This one's definitely well eaten up here. So you can see the wear lip on that thing. When bushings wear out, they don't eat through the shelves like that. So they just get a little bit loose. Alright, so we can't use these because we can't get shafts for them. So we're going to put new, these are new crane shafts. These are the Ultima rockers. I'm going to go ahead and put that set up in there. So that's what we're going to do. Alright. Let's see, where do you start? I get confused. I'm going to start with these big ass things right here. We got to load these up with parts. Okay, there's no front or rear in these things. They're just rocker boxes. I got all the hardware laid out too. So the first thing I do is check to see if these things fit together. And right off the bat, we got issues. They don't line up. So the shafts fit there, but they don't come out the other side. Off to a good start, right? Same problem. Yep. That's what happens when you bore rocker bushings from one side and you don't go all the way through. Yep, there's one that kind of fits. There's another tight one. Alright. Let's see if all these shafts are the same size. Appear to be. I think this is the biggest one. Yep. Yeah, about the same. They all feel about the same. Okay, so these have to be honed. Off to a good start. We didn't think this job was going to get easy, did we? Alright, so we're not doing valve guides no more, so we're done with the valve guide hone. Okay, this is my rocker shaft hone. See how long it is? This is for doing the whole length of the rocker arm. So you can go from one end to the other, all the way up to here. You make the two ends straight with each other. They're sized correctly, but they're not aligned with each other. So you gotta make them line up. So this is the one I made up. So I took two mandrels, two long mandrels, I welded them together. I had to make the other piece in here welded together. Had to make it. Sonny doesn't offer it, so I made my own. Took 2 attempts. The problem is you have to use special stones. So you have to make your own. You got to make your own stones too. So basically, you have to cut one stone to fit. Let's see. There's a 16 watt. 95, that'd be a finish. That one there, you can't read it. Feels pretty fine though. Yep. Alright, so what I had to do is I had to take this stone here, and I cut it down to make it look like that, so it'll fit into my holder. Then I can use two of the same stones stacked together like this, which will give me a straight hole. Okay. That's literally going to take a couple swipes, all it's going to take. Move everything all up. Now this one will fit together after that. That's when it doesn't go through. Swipes. Nice and free now. See? That's all it takes. This one went in already, so it's going to buckle in play. Tell how around everything about how it's jerking so much. There you go. That was pretty great. Another nice straight one. There you go. That's all there is to it. When you're all done, you can see what the hone marks look like after we're done. Okay, we go clean all this up, and we'll be back. Yeah, full of oil. Alright, we're back. Alright, I like these rock arms so much, I went and got another set. Hone those also. So now between the 8 of them, I pick out the best 4. So you can see the hone marks in there, and the original reamer marks. The reamers are the dark area, and the shiny stuff is where I just honed it. So you can see how that one has about 50% shatter on that one. So big shatter marks all over the place. That's why I was bouncing around so much when I was honing it. So that is there, big low spots. So these are the better ones here. That's why I don't ream my bushings, I hone them. Got a lot better job. See, this one's pretty nice. It's about 80% coverage, this one. Now, obviously I hone them out bigger, they look better. So this set over here, these ones here are the better of the two. That's debatable on that part of it too now. See, the bottom part here is all your pressure. See, it's not how much area that's hitting on that. That side looks good. There's big shatter marks through it. So that's shatter marks, but it's got some area. So I don't want to hit the paint. So this one's a little bit better than the other one. Okay, I got 2 different ones there, and look at that. We have a set. Alright, I like these 4 the best, or the least. Now we check the shaft diameter, see how they look on the diameter wise. Might change our mix and match some more. So I'm only on the 1 bushing here. I get a little bit of movement in the shaft. When you're all the way in, you don't really feel much. This one's a little looser. See better. Yeah. About the same. Alright, so these are all about the same. They're a little bit loose when I run them because they were fitted and they rehoned, so they're still a little tighter than the stock replacement rocker arms. Those things are like this when you put a shaft in them. Alright, so these four here we're going to keep for the next guy to use or someone else. Or I put in my bike because I don't care about my bike. I run everything in my bike. So I get rid of junk parts, I use them up on my stuff. Anyway, you can see how the reamer marks are in there. There's just on the top of the bush, you can see how crappy it is up in there. So, anyway, like I said, that's why I hone my bushings. Then we got nice good round holes. And they're straight from one to the other, so the shafts fit right through like they're supposed to. Alright. Last thing we check is make sure the rollers spin freely and have no issues. Make sure the clips are all on there like they belong. If you feel any roughness in your roller where it doesn't want to roll, then it's bad. Time to get new ones. Seem to be rolling pretty good. Clips all look like they're on there good. Okay. We'll go with these. Nothing like easy bolt together parts. See? And if you think the non-roller rock arms are any better, dream on. Now, the S&S ones are pretty good though, but they're $500. You do get what you pay for. That's the difference between a $200 set of rock arms or less and a $500 set of rock arms. It's not always just a name on the label. Just gotta lubricate them in there. Alright, so those all lubed. Now we're going to move on to the next part. Go lubricate the roller. These are pretty hard to get anything in there. There's not a lot of area in there to let oil in. You could soak them, I guess. So a little bit of this does work in there where it belongs. Still feels dry, get more oil in there. That's why it's best to stop and start your new motor when you first start it up. Gotta let all these surfaces get oil to them. You don't get oil to them when they're flopping up and down. Gotta let it, whatever gets on there, you gotta let it settle, soak in a little bit. Okay, things are all lubed. Okay, now this has a notch in here for a bolt. So one hole overlaps the bolt hole, one hole does not overlap. So this one goes on the overlap side, which is over here. So you gotta make sure you put that notch where it will line up with the bolt. And you have to figure out which arm goes where. Make sure everything works freely. If it doesn't work freely, then you need to work on it. If you don't have enough in play, you need to grind it. If it's hitting on something, you need to grind it some more. You could have some in play. It doesn't really matter exactly how much you have, but you do have to have something. Obviously, you start getting up to real heavy, you might do something about it. You can put shims in there. I've never had to shim an either one though yet. I have had to grind them though. That's a tight one. When you got tapping, you gotta make sure you don't tap it in the bushings. Like right now, it's tight on the bushing. That ain't gonna work. Get a long punch. Tap it out. Let that one go in. Run the shaft through a couple times if needed. Knock off any high spots that are in there. See if you damage the shaft any. Well, rock around's good. Try it again. Sure it works nice and freely when you're done. Must have a little bit of a burr here on the outside edge or somewhere in there. Gotta work it out a little bit. Big deal, just don't force it. Friendly persuasion only, no forcing. Alright. Bench off. And my fingers. Okay, now we move up to our motor. That thing way up over there. We need some gaskets. Might resemble these. Well, we got special torque pattern you're supposed to use. I don't know why. Make sure you read that too. I'm right on that. I'll work on that later. Alright, there's our gaskets. Make sure they line up correctly. They look good. There's our rocker boxes. Make sure you put those on there correctly. They go like that. But they don't go together just yet. Need to put these in there. Alright. So, before your rocker boxes go on, if you don't have quickie push rods, you got to put these long style push rods in here. Because see, you can't put these in here, but the arms are in here, so they don't fit. You can't put them through the top because the arms are in the way. So you got to do these before you do that. So before these boxes go down, put the push rods in. So let's come back up. You got to figure out what length push rod you got. 2 shorts, 2 longs. These are the short ones. So, long ones go in exhaust, short ones are in intake. So you lay it on a bench like they go in the motor. You see we have exhaust, intake, intake, exhaust. So that's how you lay out your parts. Then you don't get confused. Okay, we gotta make sure you put oil on the ends of these things. So I'm gonna do the intake first. So you lubricate the balls right here in my oil. And right there. Take the push rod cover. Stick it in there like that. Drop it through. Make sure the O-rings are up in there where they belong. Make sure all your O-rings are in there because you got to take it all back apart if you forget to do it. Then I do the exhaust. Now I do the intake first because it's on the inside and it's easier to get to it without the exhaust being in the way. Lay the push rod cover about where it goes and then drop the push rod down the hole. Cool. Now you can lay your rocker box assembly up on there. And now all the parts are in there where they belong. Makes it easier. You know, we gotta do the same thing on the back. So now I'm out of oil. So, there you go. Okay, here's our intake. And the exhaust. Now if you find one push rod's completely adjusted out and the other one's completely collapsed, chances are you have your push rods mixed up. Okay, there's that one. Right now this rocker is way up in the air right now. See, it's way up in the air because the push rod's way tall. See how tall the push rod is? That's because this cam lobe is open right now. See that lifter's all the way up right now. See how that one's all the way down the hole? Way down deep, way up high. Cam's open. So you adjust the valves that are down first. So what we gotta do is put this thing on top dead center on the compression stroke. Now this one's near top dead center, but it's on the overlap stroke because the valves are open. These are closed. In the compression stroke, both valves are closed. On the overlap stroke, both valves are open a little bit. So we have to determine where we're at before we put the rocker boxes all the way down. That way we can adjust the valves. So first thing you do is put your finger over the hole and feel for suction or blowing. See, it's blowing now. See how that rocker box is dropping over there? It means we're coming up on the compression stroke. Okay, we need something to find out where the piston dome is at. Here's 3 common utensils to use. Straight blade screwdriver, an old punch, and a Phillips screwdriver. Which one do I use? Which one do you think? If you use the punch, the sharp edge, it's hard, it'll bend, you can nick the piston up. So you gotta be careful and use something like this. If you radius the edges off, you're good. This here goes in there good like this. The problem is, if you bend the straight blade, it pops the blade off. And you have a broken piece of metal in this thing. This is a Phillips screwdriver. You put it in the hole. It only hits in one little spot. It doesn't really dig in much. It's pretty hard to break a tip off one of these. You can break them, but it's really hard. More likely it'll bend it. So use the Phillips. It's a lot safer. Next thing is, you don't leave the screwdriver like that and turn the motor over. When the piston comes up at that angle, it bends it. So you want to stand it up like that so you're pushing on the piston when it comes up. So you just drop in the hole and wait for it to come up. See how that valve is opening right now? Piston's coming up. Piston just went down. See, we're on the overlap stroke right now. See, this rocker box here is not quite the same spot. So that's where you're at. Now, if you want to know for sure what's going on, because right now both valves are unadjusted, you go over here and you look at your push rods. Somebody's been stealing my clips. I was told you can't get wood ones anymore. These ones have been used more. Okay, just told you push rods up. Look at your covers. Turn your motor over. See how they're moving? See how they're both moving, but they're both down right now? We're on the overlap stroke. This one over here is on your compression stroke over here. These ones are not moving. So if you go over here, like this, so you turn the motor over, see how these are not moving? So these are on the compression stroke. These are on the overlap stroke. So these are the ones you want to adjust and not those. So go over here. Put your Phillips screwdriver in over here. We're looking for top dead center. Okay, so when it's all the way up, you're top dead center. See right there, quit moving, just start to drop. That's top dead center. Okay, so we're going to adjust this cylinder now. Doesn't matter which cylinder you start with, you have to adjust the valves. In my case, right now, put all the stuff where it belongs. We got to put the rocker box on here next. You can't adjust your valve till the box is down, but I want to get the box in the right spot to where I can adjust it. Okay, now these over here, we have different bolts to use. So we got 2 Allen bolts, 3/4 inch bolts, and we got 8 5/16 bolts. 4 short, 4 long. So you take 2 of each. And those are the ones we use on this motor. Now the reason we have 2 different length bolts is because the rocker box is lower here than over here. See how this one's flush? See how this one's not flush? It drops down. Just take the shorter bolt here. So the short bolts go here, long bolts go over there. Pretty straightforward. Alright. Now, Loctite. Blue Loctite. One of the few things I Loctite on the motor is the rocker box hardware, because these do pound out and get loose. So a little bit on there. This is my short one. Short one goes here. Now the short one has a shaft in there. If you can't put the bolt in the hole, then the shaft's in the wrong spot, that notch. You got to move the shaft a little bit. Okay, stick it in there, get it started. We're good. Oil oozing out over here. Wipe that up. Okay, so just lube up all your bolts right now. That. Make sure the gasket's up where it belongs. Get these big bolts started. Okay, you can do as many of these at a time as you want. Obviously these shafts are in the way, it's over here. See how the shaft bolt won't go in the hole? There it goes. It wiggle around a little bit. Now sometimes you got to put a screwdriver in there and kind of jiggle the shaft around a little bit. Get the center up. Feel like that a couple times. The shafts will kind of rotate square. Okay, make sure the gasket feels like you're in the right spot. Okay, these little Allen bolts right here go on the outside corners over here. So same thing, put a little bit of lube on them here. Loctite. Now very important, you put the washer with these. This washer. That keeps from sucking the bolt down the hole, because it will suck the bolt into that hole. They run a pretty good sized hole right there. So. The 1/4" bolts here have a nice big fat washer on them too. It's a nice thick one. It's all grade 8 hardware, because you torque these pretty good. So. Okay, those two inside here. You got one more between the arms over here. The twin cams are similar but different. So yeah, bigger hardware. Eva's got 1/4" bolts. Twin cams are all 5/16. I think they got one more bolt in there too, as I recall. And they have a big breather housing right here too. Alright, so we got 3 bolts right up in here. One here, one there. Whoop. Same spot over here. 2 Allens on the ends, right here and here. You got 2 short bolts and 2 big long bolts here. So now everything's on there. Make sure everything goes around. Make sure your gasket's up there where it belongs. Everything looks good. Run it. Okay, now we got to tighten all the bolts up a little bit. Okay, don't bring them all the way down just yet. Just get them all close. Big bolts. Get little small bolts in there. Once again, don't tighten them all the way down, just get them in there. See a little better maybe. Switch back over the 1/2" socket. Okay, now you got clearance in the rocker box. Now what I do is I push toward the left here. I center it off the bolts. I hold pressure right here. Then I tighten down a couple of these bolts right here. Tighten these ones over here. Not sure I've got tension on anything right now. Obviously the push rod's not in the right spot or something. We should not have any tension on anything right now. We do. Not sure why. Alright. So right now we have tension on stuff. So why do we have tension on our hardware? Either the rocker arms are not in all the way, Yeah, our push rods are not seated correctly right now. See how the push rod's not in the ball right there? So as I'm pulling this down, the push rod's in the wrong spot. So just knock it over out of the way. This one here must be doing something similar. That one appears to be in there where it belongs. So why are we maxed out right now? Uh-oh, got a visitor. It's a four-legged varmint. Looks like it's Scooby. Okay, so something is going on here in my push rod length. Alright. So this push rod's all the way unadjusted. The rock arm's in the right spot, but we're bottomed out. So that means this push rod's too damn long for some reason. So the first thing I look for is, am I in the overlap stroke or am I in the compression stroke? No, we got a lot of clearance on that. That's correct. So let's take our loader and check, make sure we're on the right cylinder. Yes. Okay. Okay, push rods are not moving. So that means I'm on the compression stroke. But this push rod's too damn long. So if we got a push rod that's too long, there's a reason for it. My guess is I have the wrong push rods in this motor. Let me just loosened up a little bit, but right now it's bottomed out all the way and it's got only that much clearance. Shouldn't be this tight. So you should have a lot of clearance like this. So. Okay, so I'm going to go check my push rod lengths. You might have the wrong push rods in this thing. I have some Crane plus 200 push rods. I think that's what we got an exhaust valve right now. It's a plus 200. Alright, let me go double check. Looks like I sold them the wrong parts.